this ESP.
ESP.
Some brains can lift objects.
You are listening to the Freelancer Codex,
That was surreal.
brought to you by the Shut Up and Respawn Network.
Welcome, freelancers, to episode 138 of the Freelancer Codex podcast, the longest running Anthem podcast on the internet. I am your host, Steve, along with my co-hosts, Mike and Devon. Michael, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How is everybody? It's good to be here. It's good to be ready to go. I'm ready to go. I know Devon's ready to go. We're all good here.
I see you have your Anthem hat on, so that looks nice and spiffy.
Yeah, the Anthem. Yeah, that's totally what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, we all bought Anthem hats when we went to California for EA Play, so.
It's true, we did.
We did.
Devon
Except Steven. Steven
No,
didn't.
Nope, I did not buy an Anthem hat. Devon found one that was big enough for his head, which is...
I should have gotten a size bigger, to be honest, but you know.
He's got a huge melon, man. It's like
his head's so big, it's got its own weather system.
It's true. No
Devon,
doubt.
how are you
big.
I was doing good. You know, I was doing good.
Until we started making fun of your head.
No, until the school was like, hey, we effed up. You kids can't come back to school yet.
So our kids...
We're going to delay it a month.
Till October, which means really that we will not be going back to school at all this year. So make way for going back to school in January, maybe, hopefully.
Doubtful. It'll still be flu season.
I don't think we've ever shut down for flu season, but
how are you going to tell the difference, right?
So I am your host, Steve, and this is a video game podcast. So it's a bummer to find out about these things. Like, I think we can talk about things that are going on in our lives, right? So, yep, our kids are going to be staying home. It's a bummer, and we would love for them to be back in school so they can get some social interaction with their friends, so that they can learn. But that's just not going to happen, and we're just going to have to continue to...
Really what you mean is so they'll stop bugging you.
That is exactly what mainly for my wife, because I'm not here when they're in school. Yes, Phaedron, Mike is a teacher, so I'm sure Mike is excited to not have to go back to school for a while. But yeah,
I'm actually not. I'm actually not excited for a lot of different reasons. But
all right,
it is what it is, right? It is what it is.
Yep, it is what it is, and that's just how it's going to be. So, all right, this is episode 138. It is September 3rd. We have had some pre-releases in video games. Marvel's Avengers is out there with its 3-day pre-release, right, Devon? We're in that. If you pre-order the game,
yeah. If you have the deluxe version, you get 72 hours early.
So there's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people are getting their impressions of Marvel's Avengers. We can talk a little bit about that in the show. But first, I would like to say thank you to all of our patrons who have been supporting the podcast for a very long time. SJ, thanks for hanging out with us in chat. Good to see you. So thank you to our patrons. We'd like to thank Julius, Nathan B, Michael R, Trent B, Man and Still, Scout 69, Dragonheart 76, Jeffrey H, The Gameplay Experience, and RZ. Thank you for continuing to support us. I still have to make our monthly challenge coin. I think I'm going to make a challenge coin focused around Control this time and get that sent out to all of our patrons that donate to us on that tier. So that'll be a lot of fun. Also, is something that I need to continue to try to promote is our Discord community. We have a Discord where you can I'll add links to the show notes so you can join the Freelancer Codex Discord. We talk about video games, talk about a lot of different things, movies, TV, books, all the fun stuff. So you can go hang out in there, and you can chat with a lot of people that enjoy the same things that you enjoy. So shout out to our Discord community, and they keep us all apprised on stuff going on in the VR world. Scout 69 is in there a lot, talking about VR, and then Cags and Devon are in there talking about tech all the time, arguing about whose GPU is bigger. So that gets fun all the time. So.
It's obviously the 3090. No.
Obviously, that thing's massive. So if you want to write into the show, you can do that at freelancercodex@gmail.com if you have questions, comments, or concerns. So cool. All right. I want to, before we get into the news and start talking about that stuff, I want to find out what you guys have been doing gaming-wise, or whatever you want to talk about at the top of the show, just to kind of see how your weeks have been. So Mike, I think we'll start with you because you've been doing a lot of stuff.
I have I haven't been doing a lot of stuff. I've been doing a lot of one specific thing. Last week, I let everybody know that I had jumped back into Destiny, and I have been being sucked back in. So I understand. It's tough because like we talked about it last time about how it's so easy to get sucked back into stuff, and yeah, it's
Thanks for
pretty easy
subscribing, Phaedric.
because I'm sucked in. Anyway, so
Well,
I've been doing Destiny and playing the current season, which is I believe the season of arrivals is what it's called, and chasing that top level gear and playing all the things and chasing all the armor upgrades and all the tasks you have to do for that. And it's been interesting and it's been fun. You have to play all the different game types, so you have to do raids and strikes and crucible and all that kind of fun stuff that I don't normally do, but have jumped in. And I realized that sometimes you just kind of jump in, and there are crucible matches where you get 20 plus kills, and there are crucible matches where you get 2 kills, and it's just the way that it goes, and you can't really harp on yourself too much for that. That's just sometimes how it does. And it's just been fun to play. It's been fun to jump in and kind of play with the stuff that min maxing and gear tiers and what weapons and this stuff and that stuff. And so it's been fun to do, and it's been fun to just jump in and play again. It's pretty it's cool how quick it all comes back. Right, you're just back into shooting stuff again. So it's been
like
fun.
riding a bike. Tell me what the biggest change for you has been, because you didn't do any of the DLC after the main campaign. So what's the
Correct.
biggest change jumping back in?
I I I think the biggest thing is just being lost in stories. So like when you do a strike playlist to just go through all that, I'll jump into a strike that I have no context for, right? So that's probably the hardest thing to do, because really everything is the same. Tower, cryptarchs, weapons, couple new character. Actually, there aren't any. That's not true. There are two new. Sorry, Devon. There are two new areas on the map that I have no context for, called the Dreaming City, and what's the other one called? I don't know what
The
the other one's called. But there are two new places on the map that I haven't been to. So I'm also gonna not rerun. I'm gonna run the campaigns, because they give you those previous campaigns that you can still do. Um, so I'll run through those and see what they're about and get some story, and then see how far I can get with all the free content that's out now, and then see what happens come November 10th, when I either get to choose to buy the new expansion, or see where it goes from there.
So are you like on the fence of whether you're going to buy the new expansion? Because it sounds like to me that you're going to buy the new expansion.
No, I'm still on the fence. I'm pretty stingy when it comes to spending money for games. So
Just
I
get
mean,
Game
it
Pass, you
would
get
have
it
to
for
be.
free.
Which I do, which I mean I have Game Pass for it. So once
So
that
then you don't
comes
have to
up,
buy it.
exactly. So
Do they get all the new content for free
Comes
on
with
Game
all the
Pass,
DLC.
or just
Yeah.
current stuff?
I mean, when the new season starts, whatever's in that season is what's in the game. You can't. They are picking and choosing. That's when it starts, where they take content out and put content in.
SJ says the expansion will be on Game Pass. I just
cool.
wanted to make sure, because who knows? Like nowadays with everything coming in and out, it's like
Yeah,
who knows what people are doing with their content, right? So
right.
know that. And SJ plays Destiny. Like Devon and I were like, we tried not to play Destiny because then we know it'll suck us back in, and then you can never get out of the hole of Destiny. So
You
Just
never
say no.
can. It's not a terrible hole to be in. It's a fun game, right? It's still fun to go and do and play and have, but when you have other stuff on your plate, it can definitely take a back seat. So
well, cool. I am glad you are back playing a game.
yeah,
So
it's not terrible.
it's fun to get out there. So, Devon, is that all you've been doing, Mike? Do you have anything else you want to share before I just pass over? Because I don't want to like skip if you got something else to talk about.
No, that's all I've been doing. I'm really focused on Zoom right now. You wouldn't think that Zoom is like a big time crunch time stealer, because
Yeah.
I'm not on Zoom a lot, but I'm working really hard to make sure that my kids are on Zoom a lot for school. making sure that they're making all their calls and being in when they're supposed to. So Zoom, I would guess, put up there. It takes a big chunk of my time. So
Do you
should have
think?
invested in Zoom in like June, huh?
Yeah.
Or January, I mean.
Yeah, in January. Do you think Skype is just like kicking themselves like at night, like punching walls, being like, we were the only ones here. Why did they go to Zoom? What did we do wrong? And they're just because like Skype was the only game for the longest time, and everyone like Skype was the word that you would use. Like, hey, you want to call? Yeah, let's Skype. I'll get up. I'll jump on Skype. And now like no one even remembers that Skype all on everyone's machine and is there
Skype
running.
is the Skype is the Internet Explorer of its genre.
They're like, hey, this is our time. And then all of a sudden Zoom came in and was like, hey, we're Zoom, what's up? So anyway, Devin, what have you been up to? Because I figured you've been up to a lot of things.
What have I been up
good.
to? I've been busy with work. Yesterday I was at work from shoot, I don't know. I got to work at 5:30. I came home for an hour at like 6:30, and then I was back again till about 9:30.
You were busy then.
I'm busy, so I'm only busy because my division manager, he's out of town right now, so I am doing stuff for him and all my regular stuff. So,
Nice.
but when there's two people running an office, you have to be able to, pick up the slack when the other person goes on vacation for the first time in 2 years. So
Yeah.
you gotta do that, right? So,
Make
but no,
those
I've been
sacrifices.
busy with work doing all that stuff. I've been playing mostly just Master Chief Collection. I'm having a really good time with that. And
Are you close to finishing them all up, or which ones do you lack still?
so the main one that I lack is Halo 4, just because it was so bad on frame rate for me. But I was like talking to people on Twitter about it, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, all right, whatever. Okay. It's like, I'm not here to argue. I don't care. I'm just like, I'm tired.
Like, what kind of frame rates were you getting on PC?
No, it was just like making me nauseous. No, it's not on PC yet. It's only on Xbox at the moment.
Oh, so you were getting frame rate issues on Xbox?
Yeah. So,
huh.
And like I could only play it for like an hour because it's only 30 frames per second, and it's like because they were pushing it as hard as they could for the 360, but
right.
I'm playing it on the One X, and I'd hoped that they did their magic like they do on all the other stuff for the One X, but they didn't really. So, I don't know. I just play it and it hurts my eyes. And like there's one where right after you meet the Didact, you're trying to escape on a ghost, and it just like makes me really motion sick, and the frame rate drops, and I'm just like, I'm gonna throw up if I keep playing this right here. So I'm waiting for that one till it comes out on PC because it's gonna be coming out soon, probably next month on PC. So, and also they'll have crossplay, so I can play with my friends that play it on Xbox, and it's not a problem for them. So, but I've been playing multiplayer a lot. We had a lot of fun with that over the weekend. Yeah. And then I did have something weird happen to me today, right? So, because we have to wear masks all the time, right? So when we're in the office or when we go anywhere, we have to wear a mask. And so, like, I was at my son's therapy appointment. He has speech therapy, and I was there, and I had like this bout of claustrophobia inside my mask.
Oh man.
And I was just like, I don't know what it is, because it's just like I wake up in the morning, I'm in my house, I go get in my vehicle, I drive to work, I'm inside of a building again for like 8 hours. I get in my vehicle and I come back home and I'm inside of a building all the time, right? It's just like I'm just like stuck inside. But it was like the weirdest thing because I was just like just wanted to rip my mask off and just was like, what the crap's going on? And so I just had to take a deep breath for a minute. And I'm just like, all right, it's okay, it's all right. And it's weird.
Was it like a mini panic attack? Did you have a?
I don't know. It was just like I just wanted to rip off my mask because I hate wearing a mask because it's just like hot breath on my face all the time. It's blowing up in my eyes, irritating my eyes. And then the mask moves my glasses forward, so then it causes me to have eye fatigue and everything else because it moves my glasses all the time. And
do your glasses fog with your mask on?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah, so like you've got like the trifecta of everything, and it was just too much, and you were like, I gotta get out of here.
I'm just like, I just want to get out of here because like as soon as I left the building, I just like ripped the mask off my face. I was like,
Nice.
screw this crap.
But you don't have
But
to wear it like when you're in your office, right? When you're just
when
alone.
there's other people, we do like if when we have people come in, customers and whatnot, we have to wear them. And so, um, like today, it was fine because I was the only one in the office, so I just locked the door so no one could come in, so I didn't have to wear a
Nice.
mask. So I was like, you can knock on the door and I'll come see you and I'll talk to you through the glass.
Yep,
Nice.
that makes sense.
But no, it was just really weird for me, and because I was like, I wear a CPAP machine, so I have a mask on my face when I sleep and everything too. But no, it's just I really hate wearing the mask because it just causes me so many problems during the day. It just irritates me constantly. So I don't know. It's like you ever get like that built up energy and you just want to like scream or like go break things? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just like I just want to rip that off and scream, just like oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, that's my honest opinion for the day. No.
You guys have these emotions often that you just want to like punch something or scream? Is that something
Oh,
that
yeah.
happens to you often? Like,
Oh, yeah.
why? Are you just an angry person, or
No, I
because
mean,
he's not
people
doing
are
very good?
pressure cookers, and they have to let off some steam every now and then. It's healthy. So you think that you're not doing it because you're running daily, right? So that's your relief. Like for those of us that don't get that, right? So we need it, and it's just that time by yourself to just and you don't it doesn't necessarily have to be yelling and screaming and that, but it is something that just relieves that tension and that pressure. So
I did. That reminds me, I am still walking every day. This
Oh,
morning
nice.
I did 3 laps. Usually, depending on if I wake up on the first alarm or not. Sometimes I'm like, screw you, alarm. I want to go back to sleep.
nice.
So sometimes I only get 1 or 2 laps in. But this morning I got 3 laps in, and honestly, exercising in the morning makes my day go better. I have more energy, and it's just good.
Yep, it's just good for you, man.
Word.
Like props to you for continuing to do that. So
Yeah.
keep doing it. But yeah, I totally get that. Hey, my alarm is going off too early today. I'm gonna hit that thing and tell you shut up, alarm. And then because a lot of times, because I get up super early, like I have to keep changing my alarm tone because I'll get so used to it that I'll just
Mhm.
be able to sleep through it. So I have to like rotate through it. My wife hates it because then it goes off and like it wakes her up and it gets her up super early. So I just have to keep rotating through my tone. So Michael from chat says from Australia, from the great down under. So Michael says, hook up your treadmill to Death Stranding game for ultimate walking simulator. No, that's actually a really like I'm sure someone has already done it, but that's actually a really cool idea. Like if you could just walk and that would move your character forward, that would be pretty awesome. Because as I've been running every day, like I run for about 45 minutes, like I've been thinking like what game could I play while I'm running? And really, the only thing that I've been able to figure out that you could use would be the Wii Nunchuck and Wiimote, because those are separate in your hands. Otherwise, your arms are moving too quickly to use any type of other controller. And if you slowed it down, and then if you're holding your controller down, like then that kind of just jacks up your posture. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how you can play a game like something like I don't know, like if I wanted to finish Horizon Zero Dawn, like how would I have to wire that up? And you see all these YouTube videos and Twitch streams of people like playing games using bananas and like Nerf guns, because you always see people playing Overwatch with Nerf guns or bongos. That's what they're called, bongos. And they do all these crazy cool things because they can engineer the controllers. And I'm like, if I was smarter, I would try to do something like that, and I would try to run on the treadmill while playing a game on bananas or something like that.
But the problem is you're not very smart, huh?
And that's ultimately why I never do it. And I'm like, I guess I'll just watch TV so I can run. So, and that's why I don't do it.
That's
But
funny.
yeah. So speaking of, like, I know we talked a little bit about this in our pre-show. So shout out. Oh yeah, that's something I always forget to say. Like, hey, if you subscribe to our Patreon at our lowest tier for $1 a month, you get access to our 15-minute pre-show where we talk about a lot of stuff. So go over there, sub, get access to our pre-show RSS feed, and you can get all kinds of extra content from us. So, and then I'll get into my experience on Control after I tell you guys about the prophecy. So while my family went on a hike, we went on an 8 mile hike over in Colorado near Silverton. This is a hike called the Ice Lake Hike. This hike is straight up a mountain. My wife did not tell me that this hike was straight up a mountain. She also did not tell me that it was a 5 to 6 hour hike. She's just like, I'm gonna go hiking. And normally we go out and we like hike around. It's flat ground over here, and
It's
it's
like
like no big
a
deal.
day hike. Okay.
No, it really was. It took all day. So we're like, and this thing is switchback, switchback, switchback. You get up to like 11,000 feet after like starting out at 8,000 feet or something.
Jump in the
It's
water.
No, they told us not to.
Who told you?
It is, the park ranger told us not to because they were getting about 500 people every weekend on this hike on this trail. So people were jumping in and they were getting all of their bug spray and
Oh yeah.
down lotion off, and it was like destroying something inside the water. So they told us not to jump in. So we followed the rules, unlike many people there, and we did not jump in the water. So we went on this tall hike, and my middle son was having a really rough time, like almost to the top. He was just struggling and struggling and struggling. Eventually we got up there, and like props to my kids for making it on this crazy hike, because it was, I mean, this hike was tough. This is the toughest hike I've ever been on, for sure.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like Ice Lake is tough. You should go do it.
It's like a 2,000-foot elevation gain.
Yeah, it's insane. So we get up there, and my middle son, like, he finally reached this point where he's like, all right, I'm just gonna do this. I'm having a good time, and we're gonna go. So he broke through whatever was like causing him this block, that where he thought he was just gonna stay on the mountain and not have any more fun. So when we were coming back down, he found this crystal on the way, and he's like, Dad, I forgot my crystal. I was like, all right, go ahead and go back and get it. I'll wait for you while everyone else starts going down. And so he takes off running back to the lake, and this lady walks by, and he's like, someday that boy's going to save your life. I'm like, what? It's like, just you watch. There's something's going to happen, and he'll be the one to save your life. And I was like, okay, thanks, I guess. I felt like Harry Potter looking at Professor Trelawney when she gives the first prophecy, like, what's going on here? And then she's like, your boys are awesome. I was like, I don't know you. Like, how do you know my boys? And then she walked away, and then my son came back, and then we walked down the hill. So eventually someday, my middle son is probably going to end up saving my life somehow. So I just had to get that out there so I remember the prophecy. So speaking of prophecies, I want to talk about my experience in playing Control, because that's what I've been playing this week. I put Horizon Zero Dawn on the back burner because I really needed to, like, I was going to put it down anyway and like get through this Control stuff, because Control is the best new IP in like a really, really long time, and it's an amazing game. So I'm not going to spoil the main story beats, but I am going to talk about them. But I will preface this, like, if you do not want to know anything about Control AWE, like, maybe just like fast forward for maybe 3 minutes or so. No, maybe a little bit longer. Like, fast forward for 5 minutes. However, I will say this. Playing Control is like, or talking about Control is like talking about a UFO sighting. Like, I can tell you all day that I saw a UFO, but eventually you're going to be like, okay, I have to see it for myself. I'm not just going to believe you, right? So Control is something that you have to experience. I could tell you everything that happens in that game, but it pales in comparison to actually experiencing the game and being like immersed inside what Remedy created. Because I can tell you how cool the oldest house is, but unless you are actually in it and experiencing it, like, it doesn't do it justice at all. So even me talking about it, you're still going to want to go play it, and you're going to want to go try it. It's even on sale right now for like 25% off on Steam, and you can get that collection. I don't know if it's on sale on the PlayStation or on the Xbox. I'm not sure. But so Control AWE brings Jessie back to the Ola's house. She is the director of the Federal Bureau of Control. She stepped into that role with gusto. She's excited about it. A lot of times we get these reluctant heroes that are like, oh, I don't want to be the chosen one. I can't do this. But Jessie kind of like steps up and's like, yeah, I'll do this. I can do this job. This is awesome. Look at all this creepy stuff that's happening. So she jumps in like head first, just ready to go. So the story starts with a pretty big spoiler, but this is something that has been teased for a really long time. AWE, people have been calling it the Alan Wake expansion. Phaedron, we'll talk about that too here in a minute. Phaedron says, but Steve, the internet told me that Remedy is bad for their Ultimate Edition. We'll talk about that a little bit too. So I lost my train of thought here while Devon was on the Discord tweeting or checking stuff out.
I was not
So
on the Discord tweeting. I was looking at something for Control. All right.
fair enough. So Control. The AWE is an acronym for Alter World Event inside the Universal Control, but it's also been like it's given the nickname of the Alan Wake expansion because we know that they're going to be talking more about Alan Wake because Remedy put that out in a tweet saying, "Hey, we have this new Remedy connected universe where all of our games are going to be connected in a way. So Control, Quantum Break, Max Payne." Alan Wake, all these things are going to be like they're all in the same universe. So we knew that there was going to be some Alan Wake stuff inside of this expansion, and it's very heavily featured. The story revolves around Alan Wake and trying to figure out, what happened to him. But as Jesse goes through here, like the game is Control is cool because exploring the oldest house like gives you a sense of exploration that I don't think I've ever gotten in another open world game. Because a lot of open world games, you're supposed to be like, oh, there's so many things to do. There's so many things to check out. You can go over here and find this. You can go over here and find this. And there's a lot of open world games that do that really well. Like The Witcher is like super expansive and it has a lot of that. But I got the same, yeah, like Skyrim. But I got the same feeling being inside of this building that I got while exploring these other big places, just because knowing that how weird it is and all these crazy things that can happen, like turning any corner could lead you down this corridor that's like upside down or twisting or going into another dimension. It always leaves you wondering what you're going to see next without it just being like, hey, I guess I could go walk over to that mountain over there, right? That was the Joe Staten thing with Destiny. Hey, if you see a mountain, you can go over there, and have that sense of wonder as you go out and explore. But Control gives that to me, even though a lot of the building looks very similar. But it's knowing that what's going to be around this corner. What am I going to run into next? Because we have a lot of these altered world events or these objects of power that have been brought into the Federal Bureau of Control that just have all these really cool stories attached to them. All these weird events that have happened. And it's not a spoiler, but they're, when we talk about the moon landing, they have the set where they filmed the moon landing inside the game. And they talk about that in the game. They talk about like these TVs that people like, they can't stop watching when it turns on. They talk about these cameras that you take a picture or the stoplight that, when it's red and if it sees you moving, you get teleported back to this other area. So there's just all these really cool things that make it interesting and new, even though you're exploring a space that it looks like an office building. So it makes it interesting. And added to that, like the sound design of the game is really, really awesome. Like it is just a creepy feeling game. There's these discordant voices that are going off in some areas when you're when you're walking around a bunch of these people that are just suspended in the air. That's not a spoiler. That happens in the first game. It came out a year ago. So it just has the
main
tone.
game, you mean?
Yeah, the main game. So the ambiance is just like it's like oozing with personality, and like I can't like
It
I
is
just need
very good.
more. I just need more of this game, and I'm really, really sad that we don't know when we're gonna get more after here.
2021, Steven. It's not that far away, right?
What
It's
do you mean?
just, I don't know, lots of months away. All right.
Did they
2021?
announce that something's coming out in 2021?
No, they're just on their timeline thing or whatever when they showed off their financials or whatever, and it's like, and more.
I
It
think
doesn't mean
talking
there's, but
Yeah, I thought that they were talking about coming to like different platforms, like if they're going to put it out on the Switch or something else. Or if they're just going to do another update like their Expeditions update. But there's a lot of cool things in there. So a couple of things about AWE that they brought in with the latest patch. They have an assist mode in Control now that if you were struggling with the difficulty of the game, because I know a lot of people had said that, hey, they were struggling with it. I personally never did, but pro gamer over here. So they have an assist mode that you can just, obviously you can just turn on all these switches to make the game easier. You can become invincible. You can have the golden gun with your weapon. You can have auto snapping to enemies. So if you just wanted to play the game, get in and get out, like experience the story, you can do that so easy right now. And like, there's no reason to feel bad for like turning on that mode. Like, if that's how you want to experience the game, then that's how you should experience the game. And you shouldn't let anyone tell you otherwise, that, oh, you're not getting the full experience of this, right? We had someone tell Mike that he wasn't like a real Destiny raider for some reason, because he had like, do you remember that, Mike, when we did that raid and the guy was like, oh, you're not a real you didn't get the level cap like you're supposed to, because I think you did it through PvP. Anyway,
No,
that
I did it through Sparrow Racing.
yeah, there you go.
I did it
Oh
through
yeah.
Sparrow Racing. Yeah, and then they asked me, which was weird. Like, it's weird when people ask you that, hey, how'd you get this? Where'd you go? I'm like,
Oh, was
"Leave me
that
alone, I'm
like
playing a game."
Wiggity or whatever those dumb kids were called? Yeah.
I don't remember, but yeah, they were like,
Yeah, they're real
they go, how'd
nerdy.
you get here? I'm like, well, I got it through Sparrow Racing, really.
They were just really mad because you played the game and got there and they weren't to that light level yet. But anyways,
Yeah, or something
we're
like
taking over
that.
Steven's control segment.
No, it's fine. It is a long segment. I mean, like, you played the game. That's how you got it. So a couple of things. Like, I think the game is amazing and it deserves all the praise that it's gotten. Although there are some things that I do not like about Control that I've been thinking about, because I knew coming on here, because last week I was like super down on a lot of the games that we were talking about. So I was like, I'm gonna be positive about things. It's like, oh, it's really easy for me to be positive about Control because I love that game so much. But there are some things that I think that they could have done better, and hopefully they do better in the future. So you do have options to change your service pistol to a bunch of different weapons. There's the sniper, there's a shotgun, there's a semi-automatic weapon that you can get. There's a single shot, and then I'm missing one. There's the rocket launcher. Anyway, you have a lot
That
of
was a whole
options.
lot of spoiler. What? What the crap?
I mean, that's all from a year ago. So you do have a lot
What?
of options. They
Are,
give
you
a
mean
new
you're just
part.
changing the regular gun? Like not
Yeah.
changing to different weapons?
No, so the service pistol changes forms into these different.
Oh, okay, I got it. I thought you were talking like it's a whole new weapons that you can choose. I'm like, what the crap is this? Where's this coming from?
No, that's a good clarifier to make, Devin, because your service pistol can take different forms, and they basically take on those archetypes of those
Yeah.
type of weapons. So there's a sniper form, rocket launcher. They added a new one to where you can put like three orbs down and they'll explode whenever you detonate them, which is kind of cool. However, I played the entire game using the semi-automatic form called spin, and then the rocket launcher called charge, and I never needed to change them out. I think I might have changed one time to a shotgun for one particular boss, but other than that, I never changed my weapons from there. So I think they could have done something a little bit more interesting with certain type of enemies or certain puzzles that forced you to use those. But also on another hand, it's like, well, I kind of don't like being forced to use certain types of weapons. If I like this weapon, I'd rather just do that. But I do think there could have been something a little bit more interesting in there. One thing that they did do, or they do have in the game, there are specific mods for specific weapons that you can get that make them super powerful. So there was a quest in the new AWE where after you completing this quest, you get this mod for the rocket launcher version, and it increases your rocket speed by 500%. So now you just kind of have like a laser that explodes, which makes that game like, it was tons of fun just being able to blast things across the map without any type of delay on there. So there are some really cool mods that really make those weapons a lot of fun to use. And so I'm sure if I went through and found more for like the shotgun or for the single pistol or for the sniper, I could have done that. But also, like, using Jesse's abilities with telekinesis, they're just a lot of fun. So Michael says pistol is best for the train level. Yeah, so the train level from Foundation, I found that the last part of there, the shotgun, was the best for the last portion, because I think that was one of the parts that gave me a lot of problems from the Foundation DLC. So things like finding different ways to use the weapons, I thought that they could have improved on. I think also the enemy design is not very interesting in Control. The Hiss are an interesting enemy, but them just taking over human bodies, and for the most part, just kind of making them look a little bit more creepy. I thought that was kind of one of the weaker portions of the game. Devin, I don't know how you felt about the enemies in Control, or how they looked, or if it was something that even crossed your mind.
It didn't really cross my mind. I just figured that was just part of their story where they take the part of the bodies of the people that were there. So I didn't feel like they needed to change them very much when they were in their own forms. I felt like they did fine, in the black forms and stuff. But I didn't mind when they just took over the bodies because that was just to me as something that was part of their way they delivered, that part of the story. So
Yeah, and I thought it was okay. I just like to me they're just not very interesting. Other than sometimes they glow red. There are some flying around enemies that are very creepy. Like the sounds that they make, like the sound design of the enemies is like it's just so like it's what's the word? It's not discomforting, but it kind of just puts you on edge.
yeah, it puts you on the edge and keeps you there. But it also at the same point when the music starts to get creepier, something's about to happen. So it does have a tell in that way once you've played it enough.
Yeah.
When you first start playing it, like for sure, like I screamed a couple times when I played it. Because I mean I had a great time playing it, and my whole problem is like as you were talking about it, it's like I just need that time where I can just sit down and play it because I don't really want to just do where I can just like kill them super easy or anything because then to me that just makes it not interesting or enjoyable, you
Yeah.
know. But I think it's a good thing for a lot of people who don't have a lot of time. But um, I want to be able to have like that day or two, over Thanksgiving break or whatever when I can just have some time to just play games and just play through it and have a good time and enjoy it. Which is also kind of what leads me to that Ultimate Edition for Xbox on the Series X, but I also don't want to start all the way over. So I'm kind of torn.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's got to be a way that they're going to make to where you can transfer your file save. I think right now you can still access your file save just because it is a single player game, and I think it's all done clients. I'll have to think. But one of the interesting things about this game, like I thought this was funny because in the very beginning when it came out last year, I saw a clip because I went in very blind on Control. I didn't like look up anything. I didn't want to find out anything, but I did end up seeing a GIF where Jesse opens up one of the treasure chests and a hiss pops out of it. And since I have been playing the game from like a year ago, I've been like waiting for that moment to happen because I didn't want to be caught off guard and scared. So every time I went up to a chest, I was like, okay, it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. And after I finally beat everything, went through everything, it was actually happened this morning because I was clearing up a bunch of stuff that I had missed on my first pass through. I finally found that stupid chest, and it did end up scaring me because I was like, okay, I guess I don't know where it is. I'm not gonna find it, but it did scare me when that stupid hiss popped out of that treasure chest.
That's
Um,
funny.
yeah, a couple of the other things. Um, I think like melee. I've never used melee a lot in that game. I know there's a I don't know if it's just never felt powerful to me or not, or just the other powers that Jesse gets are more interesting. But I never used melee, and it was never like really needed for any type of puzzle. But I'm super excited to know what's going to happen next, and I won't spoil like the end of the game. That's something that we can do maybe in a couple weeks after people have got a chance to play it. But I'm excited for these connected universe and the things that are going to happen there. It actually makes me really excited to go play Quantum Break because that's a game that I own it, but I never went back and played it. So I think I'm going to boot up Quantum Break after I complete Horizon Zero Dawn and then give that a go, and then hopefully we'll be able to connect everything that's going to happen in the Remedy connected universe, because I think Control is like a masterclass in like level design. So I really like that game. So all right, that is what I have been doing. So I'll get back to Horizon Zero Dawn later. And, sorry, I mean like sorry, I just had to talk about it because I know you guys aren't playing it yet, but I need to talk to someone about it, right? I just need to get it all out. This is that thing that you were talking about, Mike. Sometimes you have to run and punch things. Sometimes I just have to talk about Control for a really long time. So
Yeah.
Have you been doing timestamps, Steven?
Let's see. I'm going to do a timestamp now. It looks like wow. Did I just talk for like 20 minutes about Control?
Yeah.
You did.
Just fast forward for like 5 minutes.
You did. You
Wow.
talked for a long time about Control.
I would like to point out though that this is a video game podcast, so it's okay if we talk about video games for a long time, right? I think
It's
that's
true.
okay.
It is true.
So, and just saying, like
Is it though? I'm just kidding. It is.
if you wanted to talk about Destiny for 20 minutes, I would let you talk about Destiny for 20 minutes.
I
and
don't know
would
that we would let him talk for 20 minutes about this.
I don't know. I don't know if I could talk about Destiny for 20 minutes. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could talk about anything for 20 minutes.
I was going to say, is there anything you could talk about for 20 minutes?
I doubt it, and I doubt anybody would care about what I had to say for 20 minutes. Anyways.
That is true.
which is fine. I don't mind it. Like, I don't mind it. So, whatever.
I mean, you could probably talk about like the Yankees lineup for 20 minutes.
Sports is in a rough place. I don't think I could right now.
All right. So on
Moving
that
on.
note,
Moving
go ahead
on.
and
Keep
jump
us
over-
going, Steve.
We'll have Keanu bring us
Get
in
out
here.
of here. Get out.
That's not
That's
Keanu.
not Keanu.
Wrong button.
Rude, Devin.
I'm gonna talk to you about something.
This just in. Breaking news and worthy topics that we're going to talk about. So, last episode, I was really down on the idea of Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad being live service games and having levels and having to grind and pick up this gear and pick up that gear. And now you're not going to be powerful enough because Devon plays these games way too much and you're going to be super behind on everything. The developer came out and said Gotham's Knights is not a live service game and it can be played offline. Which I was like, okay, suddenly I'm a little bit more interested in that game because I'm really tired of live service games. And I don't know why I'm tired of live service games. I think some of my best gaming experiences have been in live service games. Like I enjoyed my time playing Anthem. I enjoyed our time playing Destiny. Destiny brought us our Vault of Glass raid, which is like one of the top tier gaming memories that I have because of how awesome that was. And we wouldn't have gotten that otherwise if it wasn't for that live service game. But yeah, so Gotham's Knights is not going to be live service. So
I think maybe it's because you like the idea that this game is going to start, this game is going to have a middle, and this game is going to have an end, and then I can put it down. With live service, you're really kind of picking something up for long term. And you kind of have to gear yourself up for that going in, because if you don't, then it's just going to be the when is this going to be over problem that you have. So I mean, I can understand why wanting just a very clear cut, concise game is just good for, like Devin was saying, the couple days off you have for the weekend that you can get the story and then be done with it. So,
and I think originally, and maybe this is just because I think live service games were designed to where you could just go at your own pace, pick them up, play them when you needed to, and not feel like you were left behind, right? They were supposed to be this, I can jump in whenever, play Destiny, have fun with my friends, and keep going. But eventually, I don't know if it's just because of the nature of like, hey, we have levels and these are things that you have to chase. So we have to build things for you to chase. So the people that play longer will get there faster. I don't know if that's just, I don't know if there's a game that you can be like, well, I guess like Battle Royales do that, right? Battle Royales, we can call a live service game. They are always updating things. It's all online. And that's something where you just jump in, jump out. You still have battle passes, but it's nothing that's going to give you like well, I don't know. I guess I haven't played enough battle now. Like Apex, you don't get anything in there that's going to like give you a boost over the competition. It's all just cosmetic stuff.
Yep.
So maybe that was the inevitable evolution of what live service is supposed to be. But then again, Destiny's still super popular and a lot of people love it and a lot of people play it still. So I'm not sure.
I think with that though, with Destiny, there's that constant chase and there's that constant grind, right? Because I jumped in and I found I am like seasons and seasons behind, right? So I missed all of that stuff, right? I even missed like the Twitch loot drops. I've missed those, and I find myself going, "Oh, I missed all this stuff," right? Exotic bundles of weapons and ornaments and sparrows and shaders and things. So I think with the live service, it's really not just that I can pick this package up and put it back down. With live service, you really do pick it up and you carry it with you. Like even if you try to put it down, you still have to remember that you're missing out on stuff and there is content that you're not getting.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's, I don't know, because when people say that, hey, what are we grinding for? What do we want to grind for? I mean, Devin, do you want to grind in video games? Is that something that you're like, I really want to grind for this gun over and over and over?
No, I think for me, like the biggest reason why I stopped playing Destiny was because it got to the point where I had to play it. It wasn't because I wanted to play it, right? Like I have to play it to get this weapon, or I have to play it to get this gear. I don't like when they create just like what Nintendo's doing now. Artificial,
Scarcity.
incentives or whatever, where it's like, oh, it's only going to be here for this time, so you have to do it right now. And it's like, I realize I'm, talking to my friends, they're playing all these other games, and I'm just there still just playing, I was just playing Destiny every single day, day in and day out. And it's like, I want to play other games. But, and it's also kind of funny because it's like, oh, well, I'm just still playing Halo. But it's like, yeah, but I can also stop playing Halo and play anything else, and it's not a problem. Whereas if I stop playing Destiny, you miss that content, and it feels like, oh, I have to do this, or it's like some of my friends are like, oh, I just got to get my dailies done, you know, I got to do this, and then I can play with you, play other games, or do this or that. And it's like, it wasn't enjoyable anymore to me. It was, they were making the game so that I had to play it, so that I wouldn't play anything else and spend my time invested in their game and ecosystem. And I was just like, no, I don't like you anymore.
Yeah.
So,
And
So
I,
let me
and I
let me tell you something before we move on. I'll finish this up. So I'm in this weird spot now because my paradigm has actually shifted because I've actually shifted from saying that I'm grinding the game because I'm really because I've missed so much and because I'm not caught up. I'm chasing the game now, if that makes any sense, right? So I've missed so much that I really don't know where I'm supposed to be, right? We talked a little bit about light level. I'm still unclear what the light level cap is currently. I read something online that said it was 160, but I was in a Crucible match where I was playing someone whose light level was 1090, not 160, 1060 was the light cap, and then I played someone who was 1090. So I don't know where it is. So I'm chasing that. I'm not really grinding for it, if that makes any sense. And I know it might just be a semantics difference, but I actually feel different because I was right there with you. All right, get your dailies, get them done. Make sure you get this. Make sure you keep up with that. Make sure you like. Right now, I'm so lost in it. So since I started playing again, I've gotten 3 exotic engrams. I've gotten I and right, so it's just stuff that's just popped up. It's not stuff that I'm grinding for now. It's stuff that I get and that I collect on the chase. So it's a little bit more fun and I guess for someone who's been gone from it for so long and then jumping back in, it is enjoyable. So that might be gone for you if you do pick it up again. Um,
I
but
mean,
then
I think it's
but then
fun,
I
but
understand if you do
yeah.
pick it up again, you're not gonna be able to put it down.
No, for me, it's like I purchased like the season pass or whatever because I play it and I have a good time because Destiny is a fun game.
Yeah.
It's a great looking game. It's good. They know what they're doing, right? They make good
Yeah.
games, and but at the same time, it's like when I get kicked into that thing like really quickly now, where it's like, oh, I have to play this, and I
Mhm.
recognize that really quickly, and then I'm just like, nope, I just delete it, and I'm like, I can't do this because I can't do that
Well, that's
because
healthy
I want
though.
to play other games and do other things and you know, but
Well, that's just super healthy, and that's just good. That's just good self awareness and good self management. So good on you for that. But like I
Yep.
said,
it's
just
hard
I
because you keep
guess.
talking about Destiny, and I'm like, you keep bringing up that drug I really like. You better stop
Well,
that.
you know what, and bottom line, like you said, it's fun. It doesn't feel like a grind right now. It feels more like a chase, and and, but there's other stuff that we've been talking about Destiny for 20 minutes. I can't believe we talked about it for 20 minutes.
We hardly even talked about it for that long. Thank you for reminding me that I got to push this button. Okay.
Yep.
Couple moving on. So Square Enix reveals details about their vendors, cosmetics, and battle pass for Marvel's Avengers. So in a new blog from Marvel's Avengers, Square and Crystal Dynamics revealed how cosmetics, vendors, and its battle pass system called Hero Challenge cards work in the full game. So we know that as a live service game, you got to pay for stuff somehow. So they are going to come out with $10 packs per character that you can buy that'll give you outfits, emotes, takedowns, and nameplates. So that's how they are going to fund the game. Um, so this is just something that we all kind of expected. I don't know, like $10 seems like that's an okay price. In Anthem, we were paying $8 for one single skin. We were paying $8 for a wrap. I mean, $10 if you really dig Iron Man and you want to get Iron Man stuff, you can play the game. You can still unlock stuff in the game. You don't have to pay it. It's not going to change like how you perform in the game. But I mean, there's been a lot of talk online about people are like kind of upset about this. Like, I don't think I'm upset about it because they are going to be coming out with free content for the game, and this is the way that they're going to support it. And this is just kind of par for the course for live service games. Like, I know people are like, well, I paid $60 and now I have the store in my face and they just want me to spend more money. Like,
So
well,
it's a business, right?
right. So, and I don't know, like $10 doesn't seem like that big of a deal to get a couple of extra things, especially if you're enjoying the game, right? If you're enjoying the game and you're like, hey, I really like this, I want to support this team, $10 is pretty easy. Get a cool new outfit for your Black Widow or your Hulks or your Iron Mans.
I mean, it's
And
pretty common practice across a lot of games, and I don't have an issue with it. It's a cosmetic. I prefer being able to buy the cosmetic that I want instead of, you know, having to wait
Earning
and
it.
be random. And it's like, look, these are the ones that's up available. You can go buy it right in the store. You know, having a good store is very key to a successful game, right?
yep, it's true. And you got to spend that money and you got to do something. I don't know. What does the soundboard say about spending money?
Head. A-S-B-E. Head.
Nope.
Thanks, soundboard. All right. So Ubisoft came out with a statement for their PlayStation 5, and they were saying, hey, PlayStation 5 will be backwards compatible with PS4, but it will not be with PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. They later walked that back. However, the internet caught it. The internet exploded. It was not that surprised that it wasn't going to be backwards compatible with those games. Just based on everything that Sony has been doing and everything that Sony has said in the past. I know a lot of people were upset, and I don't know if they're upset because Microsoft is like, hey, we can do it over here. I mean, Microsoft can't do it with every game. But Devin, do you think it matters that it's not backwards compatible with PS1, 2, and 3?
I think it does, but they also, I mean, it depends on the forums that you go to, right? So, if you frequent the more, fanboy forums like I do on a regular basis, it matters because, you know, people defend their plastic that they like, and it's like, no, they're gonna do, backwards compatible. They said they're gonna do all these things, and then the other people are like, no, they only said this. And then when the stuff comes out, I mean, this wasn't a direct statement. It was just on a support page for one of their games. And then, obviously Sony most likely told them to take it off of there because they don't want anybody to have any negative outlook, until they finally release the stuff and do the whole fishing pole with the dollar gotcha, type of thing. But that's just my Xbox fanboy speaking. But I, I play a lot of backwards compatible games. Not like all the time, but it is a good thing and it's a fun thing to do. Like, you can do lots of ways. Nintendo does it a different way where they screw you out of your money repeatedly over and over again.
I'm
And
excited
they
to talk about that later.
fanboys
Shots-
just line up and say,
shots
beat me
fired.
over the head and take my wallet. Go ahead. I give it to you freely. But whatever.
So then why do they have to get beat over the head if they're just going to give
Because
it freely?
Nintendo still wants to beat you over the head.
Because it's Nintendo. That's just what Nintendo does. But like to the question, like what PlayStation 1 games would someone want to play on a PlayStation 5?
Oh, I don't know. It's whatever. That would have to be
Banjo-Kazooie.
those people. Like I would enjoy playing some of the old PlayStation 2 games, but none of the PlayStation 2 games that I liked were even anywhere near like super popular type games. So.
Right. I mean, I would much rather just have them remake the games that I want from PlayStation 1, like Legend of Dragoon. Like I really need like a Legend of Dragoon remake, and that's got to happen fast. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I don't even know who like owns the rights to it anymore. I think Sony does somehow, but hopefully that's going to happen. So yeah, so you're not going to be able to play that stuff. I don't think it matters. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't know how many people play back compat games. Devin does, as long as that game is named Halo, then he'll play a back compat game.
I played many games. I have like a bunch of these games right here. Oh, they're all Halo. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Are all Halo.
they're all Halo.
They're not all Halo. Let's see what I got here. I got Ninja Gaiden, Time
Oh,
Splitters.
that's a name I haven't heard in
Man,
forever.
Time Splitters is so good. Love that game.
Yeah.
Which time is it? Time Splitters 2? Which one do you got?
I have Time Splitters Future Perfect. So that's one of the games that I loved. That like Time Splitters, the original one, was why I bought the PlayStation, right? And why I wanted to get it was because the team from Rare split off, and made Time Splitters, and it was a game that I loved playing. And I also really enjoyed playing a game called Smuggler's Run. I don't know if you guys ever played that game.
I haven't. Is that a Star Wars game?
No.
It's a ride at Disneyland. What are you talking about?
No. So it was basically like you could choose different vehicle classes, and they had this huge open map, and you would try and smuggle stuff across a border or across stuff and get away from the police. But they also had this free roam, and what we would do for hours on end, we had our own game of tag, and you could choose these vehicles, and it had this huge, you could rock crawl up onto these big cliffs and mesas and everything. And we would just like run into each other and play tag, a made up tag game because it was stupid, but it was fun to do. And you could just cruise around, and we did that for hours all the time, and had a great time.
And what was the name of it? As Smuggler's Run?
Smuggler's Run. Yep.
And that was for the PlayStation 1?
PlayStation 2 was when the first one came out. And I mean they don't make them anymore, but you could upgrade your vehicle and different things. But it was just a lot of fun. It was a huge map. It was a huge square map, and when you get to the end of the map, it would just end. It's one of those where it's like, oh, I got to the edge of the map. But that was one of the challenging things. Was we're like, okay, let's see who can get to this part of the map over here. With the big monster truck that can actually grip and crawl
The
up
what
these
truck?
cliffs. Monster truck.
That's not what you said.
Monster truck.
Just wanted to double check. All right.
Hey,
So let's move on to this
Don't
next one. Devin,
don't you worry about my accent, okay?
I know you. I know you and a lot of people are excited about these new GPUs.
Yeah.
Will you give us a breakdown?
Yeah, so NVIDIA did their show on the 1st, right? Just a couple days ago. They had a lot of really good stuff. They came out, and did not mince words or mess around this time, right? I mean, it's not like it's cheaper than the current cards, but it seems that way because of their performance, right? So they're really good cards. They have the 3000 series. They announced the 3070, the 3080, and the ridiculous 3090 to take the place of the Titan. But there's also room in between all of those for a super version or a TI version, which kind of already leaked from Lenovo. The 3070 Ti already leaked, so we'll see what happens there. But they it's the second generation of their new, RTX and their new graphics line where they're really pushing ray tracing, they're really pushing AI, and it was a lot of really cool stuff. And they've shown off more videos today. One of the things they showed off Doom in 4K running everything maxed out on the 3080 versus the 2080 Ti, and it, was doing over 120 frames per second on average, whereas the 2080 Ti was between like 80 and 80 to 90 on average, something like that. But they do a lot of really cool stuff. They showed off some cool new software that I think was pretty fun. And something to look forward to. But they want to be able to contain the market and hold it off because we're still waiting for big Navi from AMD. So we're going to see what they put out. But I think, what we've talked about is they're always still going to kind of be behind on their software. AMD is anyways with their cards because this is second generation for NVIDIA with ray tracing and so on, whereas AMD is going to be competing with their first generation versions of all of that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see when they finally do announce it. They're supposed to announce their stuff this month as well. So I'm interested to see that and if it has good performance. The 3080, which is like $600.
700.
Is it 700?
Yeah.
I thought it was $599.
$700.
Is it $699? Okay.
Say $6.99.
Yep.
Not
$699. Oh, the 3070 is what? $499? So 500 and 700. But yeah, so the 3070 they say is better than the 2080 Ti, which is a $1,200 graphics card currently. And so that's why people are like, "Oh man, this, it's so great for the money," but it's also like, a 2070 costs $500 right now.
Yep.
So it's just a different series with everything's the newer stuff, and so but people are comparing it to what what it does better than, and so the price doesn't seem as bad, even though it's like the same price. But like I said, they can definitely leave room. That they're really big cards, power hungry cards. You're gonna need some new stuff if you really want to get everything out of it. But
Yeah, I think it's really cool. The 3080 is going to be a card that is going to be, I think, comparable to the 1080 Ti that has been like the workhorse for a really really long time. Like the price of the 3080 is going to put it in an area um, where everyone it's a lot more palpable than buying a 2080 Ti 2 years ago when they were $1,200. $700 for this amount of power is going to be pretty awesome. So this is like people don't need the 3090 or whatever it's called. You just don't.
you
Like
don't
it's
need it, but we still want it, right?
I mean, people want it, yeah, it's fine. But again, they're talking about 3090 is doing 8K like 120 or whatever.
Yeah. But that's with the DLSS 2.0, right? Because when they were doing that, they were running the game at 1440p, and then with DLSS 2.0, they were upresing it to 8K. But it's
So
still
Patreon,
that's
yeah.
what looks cool. It's great technology, and it's what's going to keep the 2000 series cards around for a long time, as long as they keep supporting them with DLSS. So
Yeah. So Phaedron asked when the TIs are coming. They said, I think the leak said, correct me if I'm wrong, Devin, it'll be early next year for the TI version, or is it even earlier than that?
so right now the 3070 Ti looks like it'll be coming sooner. There's also like there's some leaked roadmaps, and there's one more graphics card that's on that roadmap that hasn't been announced. So people are speculating that might be the 3070 Ti, which was leaked by Lenovo, and then retracted and may disappear. But the internet again, of course, caught it. So we'll see if that's going to be the 3060. I think they're really waiting to see what AMD does before they announce the TI versions. But they also have to give space, because you don't want to be like, oh, we just put out these new cards and now we have a TI version that's for just a little bit more money that's better, because that's just like slapping the people in the face who bought your card.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of talk also as someone that owns a 2080 Ti where people have been like, hey, you spent all this money last year and now look at you now, you idiot. Why'd you spend all that money when these are coming out? Like these are really good. It's a really good value for what you're buying for the 30 series cards. Like if you have a 2080 Ti, I don't think you need to upgrade this, generation. Like I don't see a need to. Like Devin said, all that DLS stuff, the RTX stuff is going to be coming to your same 20 series cards also. But like if you're running like dual 980 Ti's in SLI, like upgrading to even like a 3070, like that's for that price is pretty awesome. Like
Yep.
even thinking about because for the longest time we're like, oh, these consoles are going to be, comparable or even maybe a little bit better because it's proprietary and everything's developed on these systems. They might be better than current, might not better, but they'll be comparable to current computer setups.
Hmm.
But that was before September 1st when these things are just going to completely blow consoles out of the water again. However, there's, we
They
still
cost
have
more
to
than the
figure
console
out.
just for the cards. So
Right. But also, like, consoles will always have the leg up to where they have, like, hey, we know exactly what's in this thing. We know how to spec for it. We know how to build for it. I think PCs, we're still going to be working on, what are we going to do with SSDs? How are we going to mandate that, this game, you have to have an SSD for it in order to load everything properly.
and I think a lot of games are pushing towards that. Like the new WoW expansion does that. You have to have an
Yeah.
SSD, and really, if developers are going to take advantage of the next gen consoles, they're going to have to force PC players to upgrade, right? Um, to the SSDs, and the direct storage stuff, or they talked about the I/O, and decreasing how much processing power and skipping the CPU and going direct to the GPU, and that kind of stuff's coming next year, with Nvidia, but it's also coming with AMD and Intel, and that's all coming through DirectX 12 Ultimate, through Microsoft and Windows, and all that same stuff is on the Xbox. And so again, I think last generation, I've talked about this before. A lot of stuff was dictated around the Vulkan and DirectX 11 with what Sony used, but because of all the advances with DirectX 12 Ultimate and how every company is using it besides Sony, they're going to have the issue this time around instead of the vice versa, right? So the PlayStation 4 really, in my opinion, held back DirectX 12 because everybody was developing games for the PlayStation and focusing on that. But Microsoft has gotten all the PC manufacturers, the AMD, Intel, Nvidia, they're all using DirectX 12 Ultimate, and all the same systems that Microsoft has put into the Series X are being put onto all the new major graphics cards, from all the companies. So PC is going to really take advantage of that, and so is it's just going to be that much easier to make games for the new Xboxes. So
Yeah. And not only that, when we talk about like upgrading to SSDs, it's like, if we're going to be cloud gaming in the future, I guess it won't matter then. Because then you'll just be loading up a browser and you'll be playing games through your browser, and you'll have full RTX, ray tracing, stereo surround. You'll have all the gigaflops and the gigahertz
but
all
that's
up
still
in your.
so far away, though.
I mean, it's getting closer and closer.
Yeah, but
So, I mean, when you're going to have that fidelity, when you're going to be playing 4K, well, it depends on your internet connection anyway. So, all right. So, Devin talked about 20 minutes for GPUs, like we knew he would. So, let's go ahead and move on to this next thing. So, and you know what, Devin? I'm glad that you talked about GPUs for that long. Now, I want to get into
that's only
something.
GPUs. Let's move on to. No, just kidding.
Yeah, let's talk about CPUs now. Let's not talk about CPUs. CPUs are my brain.
Motherboards.
Let's talk about Nintendo. Let's talk about something that Phaedron's
Oh
excited
man.
to chat. So Nintendo did their 35th Mario anniversary little stream today, and I am actually excited for a lot of things that they showed off. Now, it does not mean that I will go out and buy everything, but I am excited for.
Don't lie. You're gonna buy a Switch just so you can play this stuff.
Maybe. So the first thing that I got excited for, and it will just kind of go out of a joke. So Phaedron says Mario's a joke. Phaedron, you're weird, man. Nintendo announced that the Game and Watch Super Mario handheld coming November 13th. This is $50. It gives you access to the original. So it's the original Game and Watch device. It's that little square thing. It's got two buttons. It's got a D-pad and a couple buttons up top. Super retro looking. It's the gold and like maroon color thing. All right. It came out in Japan in 1980. It was the first handheld gaming system. And you were the little guy that you caught balls and you moved back and forth, all that thing. So this is actually going to come preloaded with the original Super Mario Brothers. I don't know why, because I own Super Mario Brothers in 7 different areas. I own the original cart. I own it on my 3DS. I owned it on like the Wii. I had it on the Wii. Like I have it on my PC through emulation. Like I have this game many places, but I still want to buy this stupid thing. And I don't know why. I haven't figured out why I want to buy it.
But it's not Super Mario. It's Lost Levels, right?
No, it's Super Mario Brothers and the Lost Levels. I'm pretty sure it has both of them on there. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure. So
it does. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it does have both of them there.
This thing just looks cool. Like I know it's like a retro system. I know it's the same game that we've played over and over again. I know that I'll probably boot it up once and probably never play it again after that. But I think this thing is so freaking cool. And at $50, to me, like maybe I'm sure it costs like maybe $15 to make at that. Because it's like, I don't think there's even a plug-in. I don't know how it's powered. Like
it's USB.
So I thought the description that I said, it didn't say it had like a charge port. So if it is USB, and this is why I'm excited, think of how many games we can just load onto that stupid thing, have it in your pocket, pull it out when you want, be able to play Super Mario Brothers and go from there.
Like, that's illegal, Steven. All right.
Yeah, you can't.
That's
you can't
illegal.
Pull it out. You can't pull it out whenever you want. So it comes with a 30 centimeter USB cable type CA. This is definitely something that could go in a stocking, right? Like these are the stocking stuffer games that we got as kids. Yeah, I mean it's funny because it's weird that this is what Nintendo is doing. They're like targeting now the 30 to 40-year-old demographic of people who had their consoles and their games before and are just reskinning them and saying, buy these again, guys. These are super new. and buy three of them because you have three kids who want one. And so like it's just like Steve said, it's cool. It's super small. It's tiny. It looks like it would fit really super cool in your hand. Fun to play with on a road trip. But really like like there is more computing power in your tennis shoes that light up than probably in this thing. So like
Uh, I
it's it's that quick dopamine nostalgia hit, but then what? Because Steve cause you don't even use your SNES Classic, right? It's in a box on a shelf in a safe deposit box, right? So like I'm just saying.
and the reason I don't use my SNES Classic is because it's wired, and it's really hard to like have wired controllers hooked up to all your stuff
They
because
have wireless options.
I know they do. I know they do. But again, like it's like I like it in the box because I have all those games on my 3DS, right? Every
Right.
game is on the SNES Classic. I have it on my 3DS, and that's portable. Also, though, like I could also just buy a Switch and probably buy Super Mario Brothers on the eShop and have it there also. But I just think there's something cool about having it on the Game and Watch. And like I said, I don't know why. I know it's stupid because I own this thing other places. But like Mike said, Nintendo like has us pegged and targeted. So, Devin, will you go ahead and like kick this person out of chat, if you don't mind, for a quick second? Do that for me, please. So yeah, so I'm going to buy one. I'm going to try and buy another one also for my kids to have, so that they can enjoy it also. I might have to buy three. I might have to buy four. One for me, but also like scalpers are going to pick this thing up super fast. Mike, are you going to buy one, or is this like not interested? Like whatever.
What?
Like I said, this would be like a super cool stocking stuffer.
Right, but are you going to buy it?
Probably not. Probably not. I don't know. I don't know. It's super
So,
fun and super cool to have, and I like it when things go miniature, right? Because it makes
yeah,
you feel
and I
like
think
you're.
that's part of it, right? It's like, oh, this thing
Right.
is small, and now I can have it here. So, Phaedron says I'm part of the problem. Yes, I am. I am definitely the problem, but not all the time. All right. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, they announced Super Mario 35, and this is available from what's the 10 month? That's October. Thanks. October 1st, 2020 through March 31st of 2021 for the Nintendo Switch Online members. So this game is playing Super Mario Brothers along with 34 other people, and you race to complete a level every time you defeat an enemy. Very much like Tetris 99, it'll send that enemy to a random person, or you can even select it so that they will have a harder time while they're playing the level. And if you end up being the last Mario alive, then you win. I think this is a really cool idea. I like the Tetris 99 idea. I like this idea. I think it's very cool to have like try to fit a battle royale mode in something like a 2D platformer. So I think this is a cool idea, and I'm glad they're doing it. However, along with this weird time constraint from October of this year to the end of March of next year, I don't know why they're trying to make this so exclusive. It doesn't make sense to me because the next thing that we have is they announced Super Mario 3D All Stars, which is a Switch game that comes with Super Mario 64, one of the greatest games of all time. It comes with Super Mario Sunshine, which is not one of the greatest games of all time. It's actually considered one of the not so great 3D Mario games. And then it comes with Mario Galaxy, which is a fantastic game. A lot of people were wondering why Super Mario Galaxy 2 wasn't put on there. Um, but this has a weird restriction also that it is available only for a limited time. It's going to get a 6-month digital run and a limited physical run. And I don't know why on earth Nintendo would do this. Like, this is something I think a lot of people have been asking for. People have been wanting a remastered Nintendo 64 for a really long time. But to
Because
just
2 months later, they're going to come out with a new. I don't know.
No, I mean, like, what do you think the reason is? Like, honestly, is it just to sell more Switches because you have to own a Switch in order to get this, or you miss out? Like, is this some weird Disney vaulting marketing technique that hey, it's going into the vault and it's never going to come out? Like, what exactly is happening here? I don't know why they're trying to make this so exclusive that some people won't get it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, honestly, for me, like Nintendo is also kind of like Destiny, where I have to like avoid them because I grew up playing Nintendo games and I enjoy playing Nintendo games, but they just treat their consumers like crap. I don't, and it's like they give you stuff, but it's always backhanded, like, oh, we know you really want this stuff, so we're gonna do really, lazy version of this stuff, and we're gonna sell it to you full price, and you're gonna buy it, and you're gonna thank us for it, and because they're just like we don't care, and I don't know, it's just so frustrating, and so I have to like stay away from them, and I have to put them in a negative corner because if I let them in, then I spend a lot of money, and I don't, I don't want to spend that money to buy it, when I know it's not because they care. It's because they know they can just get more money out of us. And, you know, I don't know.
I
It's
mean,
just,
but
it's frustrating to me that it's like they know that people want like, oh, remakes of these games, not just. But I mean, there are some people that are super stoked about this and really happy about it. And they're like, oh, don't be so negative or whatever. And it's like, you're part of the problem. We're all part of the problem. But, I don't know. It's really frustrating to me the way they do things right now, and um, just their practices seem really anti-consumer in a lot of ways. When you know,
yeah,
I
I
don't.
just don't understand. Like, I think it's great that people can play Mario 64. I think it's great that they can play Sunshine and Galaxy without the stupid motion controls because those are awful. I don't know. Maybe they're going to force people to use the motion controls by disconnecting the Wiimotes. I would hate that if they did.
I'm sure that's what it's for, right?
No,
So that's why I hated
I
them.
right. And but man, I don't know why they're like limiting this. Like this, it's gonna sell. So why limit yourself to making money, which seems even weirder?
It just creates
Unless
an
you,
artificial need to try and boost it faster.
but it's like it's coming out digitally. Like you can just buy it whenever, and then people that don't have a Switch right now, they can
No,
buy
the
it. Like,
digital is the same. It's just got the same
well, I
timeline.
know. Well, I understand, but it's like because the physical run is going to go fast, right? Like it's just it's going to fly off the shelf. You're not going to be able to find it. It's going to be pre-ordered, sold out day one because of how limited it is. But like the digital, it's like why not just leave that up all the time? Like even if you made the physical edition like only a 6 month run, fine. But if you leave the digital up for forever so that people can buy your game, I think that's less crappy. But it's just
It's
such a
Nintendo.
weird.
I mean, this is what they do. They did that with the NES Mini, the SNES Mini. They don't care about their consumers. In all honesty,
Well,
it's
but you can't say that.
no, I can because they do it repeatedly, over and
Well,
over and over again, creating artificial demand
well,
to boost the sales and boost everything else.
but Devin, no company that is successful doesn't care about their consumer.
They don't care. All they care about is that you will continue to buy their stuff.
What happened to you as a 6-year-old that made you hate Nintendo for your whole life?
I
Tell
didn't
me
hate them
when
for my whole life.
cuts
Was
you off.
it
It's
was it
only
that
since
level?
2003 that I've
Was it
hated
that
Nintendo.
level in Mario
I mean,
64
I hate
that you
them, but I
couldn't
still
get
own. I
past?
buy every console they put out. You know. Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, so that's going to be a thing that's going to happen, and it'll be a thing that will continue. Like I said, I think Mario 64 still holds up surprisingly well, considering like I mean it's super rudiment. I mean it's the first 3D
Have you
game.
played it recently?
No, I have no way to play Super Mario 64. I've watched playthroughs, like they always do the games done quick
Yeah.
of Mario 64.
You
So
should you should try to find one and then boot it up and then say, "Oh yeah, that game holds up," because I
I
don't know
think
if
it
it
does.
does.
Like, I mean, it's not like the most graphically impressive game. I mean, it's way better than Star Fox 64. That game is like. I actually like Super Mario 64. I really, really enjoy that game. I love getting all
I love
100
that
plus.
game.
A lot
I
of fun things
just
about it. Phaedron says it's tech demo, but Phaedron's
I don't know
weird.
why the Nintendo fanboy in chat hates Mario. I don't understand.
It really does seem weird, doesn't it? All right. So moving on here, Devin, what was the
Methinks he
stuff that
protests
we
too
had?
much.
We talked about this for 16 minutes. So
What are we talking about?
The next thing.
Oh,
Hold on,
sorry.
what
It was like
talking about?
you. For some reason, you were cutting out for some reason.
Sorry, I'll get closer to my microphone.
Yeah, you just got to look at your microphone. No, so what I have here next is just a few things, some news, right? We got Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. That comes out next week. I'm excited for that. I got it on Xbox. I'm looking forward to it. I blame Steven.
Are you gonna beat it? Are you gonna play through it?
Yeah. I was
Are you
actually thinking about
play
doing
through
like
it?
streaming it when I play through it, but
Yeah. Do it.
that was until the schools ruined my life. But
Oh, fair enough.
it's gonna take the whole weekend to get over that. Right?
Everything is bad.
No, I mean I'm actually really excited for that, and it makes me excited because I want them to make another game in the future to continue the series, but make a multiplayer. Right? So, uh, but I am gonna
Oh.
play through that. I am gonna beat it, and yeah, I'm excited for it. You got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 out today. I really enjoyed that back on PlayStation. I didn't have a PlayStation 1, so I'd always go over to my friend's house when we play Tony Hawk, and it was a lot of fun. So
And they just want your money again, right?
yeah, well, I mean, this one at least is a remaster,
Fair enough.
and it's getting really good reviews. The next thing here, Taco Bell and Xbox back at it again. It's not officially announced. This was a leaked screenshot from one of their managers. Took a picture of the promotions coming out later this month, starting September 23rd. This also gives some kind of credibility to the rumor that the Series X is coming out on November 6th. Because this promotion, to get an Xbox Series X, all you have to do is buy a medium or large drink at Taco Bell, which, just go get yourself a Mountain Dew or whatever, and you could get yourself a Series X, and it goes from September 23rd to November 4th. And they've done this in the past with the Xbox One X, and all of them, they would run up right until the system came out, within a couple days of when it would come out. So that's where it's given a little bit more credibility to the rumors that the Xbox is launching the first week of November. So, and hopefully, I'm hopeful that they do actually launch on a Friday instead of in the middle of the week. I really hate when games come out in the middle of the week instead of on Fridays. So it's like I don't
If
really
I
care
ever
about
take time off.
retail stores. That's the whole reason why stuff comes out on Tuesdays, is because of the retail stores. But yeah, that's a whole different conversation.
Not anymore.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff is moving to Fridays, and I really appreciate that because then I don't have to take time off. So, but yeah, those are some of the things, some interesting news and things that I'm interested in. But
Cool.
Very cool.
I think we're like coming up here on our time real quick. I don't know. Let's
See
see.
where
We'll
we're
do a
at.
couple things. Yeah. So a couple things with Godfall. I want to talk about Godfall real quick. Hey, if you want more information about Godfall, my thoughts on Godfall, go to my Godfall 101 channel. That's Godfall 101. You can get all that information there. I'm going to be making a couple of videos to put up, hopefully build that channel up. So if you haven't gone over there and followed, please do so. And even if you don't like the content, just go do it for me anyway. And then you can just ignore it. So that'll be super helpful.
You guys didn't
I
put
think-
your music down for the week? What's wrong with you guys?
I already have it. I'm ready to
Mike,
go for that.
Where's
So-
your music? This is your segment.
I'm
You
not
didn't even put your
talking
music up.
about Godfall, all right? So one of the things about Godfall, we have seen some 4K footage
Oh, I thought
recently.
we was
We
moving on.
still no, I'm not done yet. You be quiet. We have still not seen the UI for that game. And considering that Godfall is one of the only launch titles for PlayStation 5 that has not been delayed in any shape or form yet, I don't know why we haven't seen more of that game, especially if it has to convince people to pick up a PlayStation 5. We know that they have announced that September 12th, they are going to be showing off more at the Gearbox thing. But if they do not show UI at that showing, I am predicting that that game gets delayed. If they don't show UI, that means game delay. So mark my words if it happens, and then you can all congratulate me and I'll have a party at my house or something. So
Woohoo!
Nice.
That no one can come to.
exactly. And that's why I decided to have the party, because no one can come to it and make me feel bad. All right. So
That's how
Party.
Steve
Yeah.
do.
yeah, let's do this so we don't run overtime. I will bump my quiz back until next week because I want to do this stupid quiz. I think we'll skip out on badly drawn art for now, and then
So
should we
next
talk
week we
about-
just need to do those at the beginning of the show because this is 2 weeks we've skipped those. So
okay.
Oh
Let's
man.
let's do our Spotify thing because we have told people that we're going to be building a Spotify playlist, and since it's already being built out, we want to go ahead and do that. So Devin, hit us with. I need to make a bumper for this, so we'll ask our soundboard like what they think about our Spotify playlist.
Keep that up, and I won't help you anymore.
There you go. So Devin, what is your song that is going to go onto the playlist?
So my song is an accident from last week's playlist. So when I clicked on our playlist on the Discord on my phone, it took me to Spotify and it took me to this song called Northwest Passage by Unleash the Archers. Right. So this song is a metal song, and but it is very good. I enjoy it. My kids enjoy it. They're like, "Can you play that song again, Dad? It's really good."
It's like a Irish folklore song, correct? Maybe it's not Irish. It might be.
Yeah,
It might be.
I haven't looked into. I mean, there's a lot of versions of Northwest Passage, but yeah, I mean, it's I really enjoy it by Unleash the Archers. There's a lot of their other stuff. They're from Canada, so
Oh,
Canadian?
um, but they are pretty cool people. I've watched a lot of their YouTube stuff, and they're pretty funny, and they have a good time making music, and they all have regular jobs because but I don't know. They have like
'Cause-
millions of hits on
so
their videos. I don't know why they have regular jobs. I don't understand it. But
I don't think YouTube pays the bills as much as people want. That's
I
why.
guess not. But no, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I've been listening to it over and over the weekend and just having a good time. And my wife was like, "Oh, it's a really good song," until it gets to like the chorus part where it hits metal, And but there's no like bad language or anything in it. It's not nothing crazy. That's why I really enjoy it. So
Cool. Mike, do you want to go ahead with yours?
yeah. So last week I picked a song that kind of helps you get through some dark times, and today I picked a song that I kind of use for when I'm getting pumped up for stuff. So my boys and I, we are trying to stay active and trying to stay healthy, and so we do some pickup soccer games. And this is one of the songs that every time it comes on through my phone, the boys always ask me to turn up. It is Mumford and Sons. I Will Wait. Just a great pump you up song. It's fun. Nothing super like deep emotional ties to it, but it just pumps you up and it gets you ready to go. And that's one that we enjoy together.
That's a pump up song. I didn't know that that was a pump up song.
"Hit Me Baby
just-
One More Time" by Britney Spears is Steven's song. He just wrote it down here, and that's good.
That is a classic, and I might just add it. next time.
Classic. I
Man,
must
saying
confess,
yeah, saying that that's a classic.
my
is you're-
loneliness. No.
Hey, we're gonna get a takedown notice, Devin, because you're nailing that song so hard. All right, real quick, my song is by an artist named Daniel Tidwell. Daniel Tidwell is a guitarist, musician, and he does a lot of covers of video game soundtracks. And he did one of Terra's theme from the world's best video game of Final Fantasy VI. That is
Opinion.
pretty
That's okay.
amazing. So his name is Daniel Tidwell. I'll add that to the list. We'll add the Spotify playlist link at the show notes. But you should go check out all of his stuff because he does a ton of covers. He's got Castlevania covers, Final Fantasy covers, Metal Gear Solid. He does some Last of Us stuff. Pretty amazing artist. Does a lot of very cool things. So that's Terra's theme from Final Fantasy VI by Daniel Tidwell. And that is we've got 6 songs so far that we will continue to add to this playlist as the weeks go by. But yeah, so for the I was almost called this the Final Fantasy Codex. We should do a new show and just do Final Fantasy topics. I know you guys have never played a Final Fantasy game, but whatever. So for the Freelancer Codex, thank you for hanging out with us. Chat, thank you for being here. Thank you for going through and hanging out for 20 minutes of Control AWE talk at the beginning of the show. Sorry, I talk a lot when I am passionate about stuff. But hey, that's what you come here for, right? Passionate to talk about things that we enjoy to play. Please be safe out there wherever you are. Please remember to be kind to each other. People are going through a lot of different stuff. People handle it in a lot of different ways. Just remember that People are all struggling. Be kind to each other. Don't forget to just say hey or smile when you can, or smile with your eyes while you have a mask on. And just remember that everyone's trying to go through, and we just have to be a little bit more passionate. So, all right. Until next time, we'll go out with a random clip from a soundboard.
You going to keep bringing the awesome?
Yes, we will.
Thank you for listening to the Freelancer Codex, a podcast brought to you by the Shut Up and Respawn Network. Follow us at Freelancer Codex on Twitter or Twitch. Send emails to freelancercodex@gmail.com or voice messages to anchor.fm/freelancercodex/message. We wish to thank all of our Patreons. We are grateful for you all.